Pompeii. The night a city vanished. For centuries, Pompeii had lived in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius without fear. The mountain was fertile, its slopes rich with vineyards and olive groves. Earthquakes were common in Campania, and when the ground shook, people barely looked up from their work. Even after the great earthquake of AD 62 had cracked temples and toppled houses, life went on. Vesuvius had never erupted in living memory. To the people of Pompeii, it was not a monster. It was home. On the morning of August 24th, AD 79, or possibly a late October day, as modern evidence suggests, the city awoke as it always had. Bakers lit their ovens before sunrise, slaves swept courtyards, merchants arranged figs, bread and fish along the streets. Children ran through the forum, and the smell of wine and oil drifted through open windows. No one noticed the thin column of smoke beginning to rise from the summit of Vesuvius. Then, shortly after midday, the mountain exploded. A deafening blast tore the sky apart. A towering column of ash, gas and rock shot more than 30 kilometers into the air, darkening the sun. The Roman writer Pliny the Younger, watching from across the Bay of Naples, would later describe it as a cloud shaped like a pine tree, its trunk rising straight up before spreading wide across the heavens. Ash began to fall on Pompeii. At first, it was light and curious, dusting rooftops and streets. But within hours, pumice stones, hot, sharp, and heavy, rained down, smashing tiles and blocking roads. The city was swallowed by darkness. Lamps were lit at midday, yet the air was so thick with ash that people could barely see their own hands. Panic spread. Families wrapped cloths around their faces to breathe. Some fled toward the gates, stumbling over fallen stones. Others stayed behind, believing the walls of their homes would protect them. Roofs collapsed under the weight of ash, crushing those who sought shelter. The ground convulsed as earthquakes split streets and brought down columns and statues. Night fell, but not the night of stars. The sky was black, alive with lightning flashing inside the ash cloud. Thunder rolled endlessly. Ash poured down like a storm that would never end. People cried out to the gods, convinced the end of the world had come. Many believed the sun had been destroyed forever. By the early hours of the morning, Pompeii was buried beneath meters of volcanic debris. Those who remained alive were exhausted, blinded, and choking. Then came the final horror. Just before dawn, Vesuvius unleashed its deadliest weapon. Pyroclastic surges, superheated avalanches of gas, ash, and rock, racing down the mountain at hundreds of kilometers per hour. The temperature was so extreme that flesh, lungs, and brains were destroyed instantly. There was no time to run, no time to scream. In seconds, Pompeii died. Entire streets were engulfed. People collapsed where they stood, on beds, in doorways, clutching children, shielding faces. The city did not burn. It was smothered and sealed, locked beneath a tomb of ash and silence. When the sun finally rose, Pompeii no longer existed. Where a thriving Roman city of over 10,000 people had stood, there was only a grey, lifeless plain. Vesuvius stood quiet once more, as if nothing had happened. Pompeii would remain hidden for nearly 1700 years. When it was rediscovered in the 18th century, archaeologists uncovered something the world had never seen before: a city frozen in time, bread still in ovens, graffiti still on walls, coins still in purses, and hollow spaces in the ash, later filled with plaster, revealing the exact shapes of people in their final moments. Pompeii did not fade into history. It was preserved by catastrophe. Today, its streets whisper a warning across the centuries that greatness, comfort, and civilization can vanish in a single night, and that beneath our feet the earth is never truly asleep.